Hello, this is Seti, your friendly neighborhood bard. And we're here with episode 100 of Mysteries of Selindor. Holy shit, guys, we did it! And none of us noticed, so we have nothing special planned. But congratulations on 99 sessions of this game. For last time, Grimm's goat escaped and it was possessed by Zuktmoy and was like, hey, I'm going to take you someplace. But then Selindor, like the tower, the academy tower, shut it down with like some drone shit. And we had to guess where it was going, where we found a bunch of pools. Thank you for that, Risa. And these pools were part of like what we had heard, that the planes were bleeding through and you could dive into a pool and wind up on a different plane and things were coming out and it was really bad. And I told Cleary and then we dove into the abyssal pool because we figured that's where Grimm was supposed to go. And after a little while in there, we found Zuktmoy and she gave him some mushrooms and she gave Mitnir some spores and we left. But 2 days had passed. Cleary was kind of upset with us for disappearing on him again. Back at the tower, I gave him a little candle consolation gift, and Rapsy says he wanted to kiss me afterwards, which I think is a bit soon. And I spent the night in Rapsy's room, and the day is starting where the boys have to present their inventions, except Mitnir's not quite done with his. And I think that's about what happened last time.
Yes, so as you and Gerrit are pretty close to finished with your knife-like device, you are not quite done. But it is time to head to where you need to do your presentation, which is Silverwind Academy. Ooh, good point. I should probably pull up the descriptions for Silverwind Academy since nobody went there before.
Gagnor, don't forget I had something I needed to do before we woke up in the morning.
All right. So I guess we'll pull it back to that because there's things people needed to do the night before. So after a long, hard night of work, you are all running it to display and present your devices to your respective schools. But before that, Seti, what was it that you wanted to do the night before?
I need to go buy some shit, but I guess I can do that today while I'm out.
Sure.
So I will just use my dream spell while I'm sleeping to visit the matron.
Okay. Now, can you give me the rules on that again? Like, is it they have to be on the same plane of existence? And
Let's find out again. Well, no, because you let me skip that part because of who my dad is. They do not want to be on the same plane.
Cool. Okay, so you, as it is late at night, and are attempting to find your way through the mist and step your way into the matron's inner realm. Close your eyes, and darkness seems to swallow all around you. This music is not vibing with me right now.
I'm about to fix it.
And when you begin to feel the darkness come in all around you, all you hear at first, and it's the first sense that greets you, is just the creaking of wood. It sort of fills your senses, just the sort of swaying sensation, and just, and then the sort of clicking and clacking. And as your eyes finally open, you look inside what appears to be a relatively dark room. There is a lantern on the wall that seems to be emitting a little bit of a blue glow. And there is a fire in the fireplace, but it doesn't seem to be emitting any light. You see that there are some dried and dead flowers in a vase sitting on the countertop, and just a myriad of different paraphernalia that is cluttering throughout the room. You look and you see that the windows outside are letting in shadows and little strikes of blue light from the exterior. And the whole room kind of swells as you find yourself cold feet touching the ground.
Hello, dearie.
You don't
Hello.
see her, but you can hear her filling the space around you.
It's a bit cold in here. Did you know that?
Oh, I'm so sorry, dear. I wasn't expecting company.
Well, that's me for you, dropping in when I'm least expected. So, how have you been?
Oh, well, you dumped my whole house in the icy depth. That's left me a bit
To be
healed.
fair, it wasn't me that did it.
Sure.
It was my friends.
Well, to what do I owe this pleasant surprise? Mhm.
Well, you know, you've been fucking with us for quite a while now, and a bunch of stuff has happened recently and is probably about to happen where I'm kind of just fed up with everything and I feel like it's time to level with everybody about everything. So, like, I'm just here to see if you want to tell me what the hell you've been up to and what your game was. Because I know it was you that fucked with our memories.
Oh, have we reached that point already?
So, you.
Unfortunate. I hoped our little gambit would have lasted longer. But since you know, I suppose there's no point in keeping it quiet. But it was your idea, sweetheart.
What do you mean?
Well, we all agreed that the best way to hide something from Northot was for you to not know you had it. You were all consenting for your memories to be wiped, and I would play the bad guy to keep you on the just path, keep you motivated.
Well, why couldn't you have just wiped our memories but then not. Because if we were on the same side, it would have been nice to know that.
Oh, that wouldn't have been any fun, dear.
Did you enjoy being dumped in the water then?
Oh, well, my toes are a bit frosty, but otherwise, it's fine. Take a lot to hurt this old box of mine. But it appears we cannot hide things from the weave forever.
So what now then? I mean, I thought the whole thing was very confusing because you gave me this very nice fracture that has let me do some very nice things, and I thought, why would she do that if she's working against us? But then why would she do any of the other things if she's not working against us? And it was all very confusing, and I spent a lot of mental energy on it. So I guess I'm glad that's all over with now, but now what? Where does that leave us?
Well, if you'd like, I can rearrange you on your memory and your friend's memory, and we can rehide the device. But, well, looking at the situation, it appears you. Do you still have it?
I don't know.
We have a piece.
Well, it's sort of a null point, as it were.
Yes, I
But
still
I
have it.
figured, as you're traveling around with such a thing, if everyone else is aware you have it, there's no point in erasing your memory, because then you won't be able to defend it properly.
Right. I mean, I would rather know where it is. I mean, I know that puts a target on my back, but if I don't know where it is, I'm probably going to go looking for it. So,
There are many things from the other side that can peer into your mind. Search such information, and any proof against such reading would be pointless. But as it
so,
were, I
mm,
suppose continuing my current ploys is useless. I'll be
could
returning
you
to Selindor then.
I mean, could you give me a false memory of where it is?
A what?
A false
A
memory.
post memory?
False! If I gave it to you and you wiped my memory so that I didn't know you had it, could you give
Oh,
me
well,
a
yes, of
different...
course. I would be more than happy to erase your mind and make you believe it is somewhere else. If that's what you want.
Can I get a read on her? Like, what is her...
She's not even in the room. She's just talking from all
That's
directions.
true.
Like
It's just
you'll
her
hear it coming
voice.
from the upper corner, and then you'll hear it coming from the ground or like under the chair that's like sitting in the corner, or you'll hear it echoing from the sink. Just random directions you'll hear her voice popping out from.
I'm asking myself if I trust you that much. The thing is, if you are lying to me about wiping my memory with my consent...
How would you know? Yes,
that,
it's
but
quite a
also,
fun endeavor.
it's the only
It's it
explanation
is
that... It's the only explanation that makes sense, so... I might as well believe it, because I don't have a better answer.
that tracks.
You're helping us because you don't want to see Northot take over. You don't
Well,
want to
I'm
see the
helping
Dreamer
you
win.
because it is my job.
Who
It's
is
the
your
last
job?
little bit that I could do.
Do for
Oh.
what or who or...
The Coral Queen. Oh dear, I erased so much from your mind. I was the guardian of the Cauldron of Purity.
Yes.
It was a forced role at the time, but by having completed the task that I have done, which was finding worthy carriers of the peace, I was allowed my freedom. And of course, I set you on a path by making you believe I wish to have the other pieces. Now that everything's open, I'm free to do my own devices. A fair trade, would you not say?
Yeah. Okay.
After hundreds and hundreds of years with those smelly fish people, I grew quite fond of them, as it were. So, yes, I may have done a bit of more helpful things for your cause, but it won't last forever. So, please, if there's anything you wish, I am still currently aligned with your cause.
Currently.
You can trust me.
I don't think I can, but you do present a tempting option. If I don't know where it is, because I have been targeted by people that are working for Northot, it would be safer if I didn't know where it is.
Wouldn't it, though? Unfortunately, it appears that you're nosy Nancy, who kept looking for the object regardless.
That's because I didn't
Oh,
know it was
well.
safe. If I'd known it was safe, I wouldn't have looked for it.
Indeed. You're meant to believe it was in my possession. But, as it were, failings are failings.
I have an idea. There is... I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but it's an idea. There is somebody that that antagonized us very early in our time together. a man named Oya, who is a champion for some kind of devil woman from one of the hell planes.
Oh, the name is coming to my mind, but I dare not speak it. It is forbidden for those in Selindor to know.
Fair enough. I wonder if you could make me think that he had it, so that if my mind was compromised, my enemies would go after somebody I don't care about.
Give him a little bit of trouble. Oh, I like it. Oh, I like it very much. But you know, your zealotry is unbound. Should you think that he be in possession of it, would you not seek trouble that is unneeded?
That's fair too. Damn.
Your focus is hard to navigate, dear. Truly hard. I did not think that you would have found out so soon what our little ploy was. I thought we had maybe 50 years before anyone truly found out I didn't have the key piece. Oh, I thought I'd be hanging out on some island somewhere, cackling all day long, dragging those little imbeciles behind me as they sought the device. It was going to be quite a fun game.
It would have, but alas, I wanted them.
You're all making waves quite quickly, aren't you?
So now the problem I have is if I'm going to think it somewhere and they're going to get that information from me, where could I send them that I wouldn't care enough about to go intervene? But what if I threw it into the ocean somewhere?
That is a fair idea. Throw it into the ocean somewhere. And then spend the next 3 months dredging the ocean, trying to find where you threw that stupid thing when you need it later, and time is not on your side. I like it. Yeah, I'm close, dear. And you
I
see,
would
like, the
hope
shadows
that-
start to move, and, like, fingers start coming up. I'll make it happen.
I would hope that in the case I needed to actually do the thing and kill Northot or whatever, that you would come forward and say, oh, by the way, I have it.
Oh, you're right. I could do that. I'll do it. Now come here.
All right, I don't like this. You're saying things like you're not going to do that.
Oh, dear, that's so rude. I was just having a little catnap after tea. You come barging into my mind, and
Well, you
then you
barged
can
into
pray
mine,
when
as far
I
as I know.
offer you help. If you wish, dear, I can make you believe it's somewhere. And I can leave the inkling in your mind that perhaps that's not where it is. That way you don't go running off looking for it. You could know of our little deal, but not know where it's hidden. That do you well.
All right, if I know it's safe, or if I think it's safe, then I won't worry about it, and my friends will believe whatever I tell them, so if they ask me if I still have it, I'll say, oh no, this thing happened to it, it's fine, it's safe. And that will take care of their minds, I think. And
Fair enough. Fair enough.
this is weird. This is not at all what I came here for, but I'm glad it wasn't a big
So,
fight.
where is it currently, dear?
In my bag.
I see. So we'll have you believe it's in your bag.
Sure, I don't really want them stealing my bag or coming after me to get it if they find out what I'm thinking.
Well, it's a safe enough place to hide it. And you could think it's there, but, well, perhaps it's somewhere else, and you know that, and they know you know, but they don't have a better answer.
Well, now I'm getting confused.
Well, I think we've come to a very good compromise, dear. You remain confused. I remain happy. And the key is where it is, safely in your bag.
Right. You know, the two things I thought I knew for sure was that you never make deals with hags and you never trust a fae, and I'm just breaking all the rules here.
Well, yeah, you broke all the rules when you were born. So what's the difference now? Ta-ta now.
And you watch like hands, like just like dark hands, just sort of cover your eyes, and then
Fuck me over.
the spell ends.
Alright.
So it's safely in your bag.
Sure. Do I remember my conversation with the matron at all?
Literally all this, everything. You remember everything just the way it is.
Oh, okay.
But now you question: did you guys ever have that key piece in your bag? Was that ever the deal you made with the matron? You're not quite sure. And it's that moment that not quite sure that makes you think, oh. So you get a little bit of a headache, and then, yeah. All right. So, meanwhile, 12 hours later, running through the halls of nascency, running to the elevators that rise up to the towers of thought. You hear it going, all right then, we better hurry, or we're not going to make it in time. Oh, I'm always late for shit like this. Calm down.
It's fine. It's fine. Just make it so it does one ink. Doesn't need to do all the others. Just
One ink. Doing it while running is not going to be something like things off and like flies off. Oh shit!
it wasn't important. It's fine.
Keeps running. He's like, yeah, you take it for a moment. I can't run and do that. I'm not that dangerous. And so he passes it off to you. Oh god. Almost drops it. At the same time, you are also getting a call on your seal, Orin, from Caldwell saying, I don't mean to alarm you, but we're presenting in about 5 minutes. So if you want to make your way up here, that'd be great. Otherwise, I can lay it all out for Eli and the rest of the teachers. But
I want to say he just sees like a cartoon exit where the seal is like floating and just sees me bolt. Just dust trail.
yeah, as you guys are running, so you guys get left behind by Ord, who is, let's face it, much faster than you under ordinary circumstances. And you continue running down the hallways. He brings you guys up as you, Orin hits like one of the elevators, you hit another. You guys all rising up into the larger areas. You see the areas pass by for the halls of erudition and the anatheum, and then you watch Logic's Landing pass by you as well as you come up to the top side, which this morning rain is falling once again in Selindor. And as the pitter-pattering hits in all directions and you find yourselves sort of seeing the mist of different clouds pouring up over the area as you step your way out, you find that none of the rain is hitting you guys directly. There seems to be a dome over the towers themselves. But you can hear it pattering in all directions up above it. And he says, all right, so we go to my school, which is that one there. And he points out, and you see what looks to be like almost like a rough barracks-like tower. It's square as opposed to being round like most of the towers that sort of move and shift around in this gear top disc that holds the towers of thought. You see this one tower that almost looks like a hard black stone barracks with black iron, and you just see this big silver crest of a koala, which is basically like a sort of serpent with wings. He says, that's the one there. We just have to try to catch it while it's still on our side.
Catch it?
So, well, the towers will like to rotate every now and again. Ours is on one of the really active sides of the basin, which makes it harder to get into. If you're not fit enough to get into Silverwind, you don't belong.
Well, shit. Starts running.
As you guys are running, you see it goes and like starts sliding from one side to the other. You watch as Orin just walks steadily over to like this big, beautiful golden and white pillar tower that is just completely stationary, and Ghost runs up inside. Meanwhile, you're chasing yours down as it moves, probably at about like 10 miles per hour down like the side. It's like, hurry, hurry, hurry! It's like, oh shit, I wish my legs were longer. And as he's running after it, you see just sort of like leaps off as the tower kind of dips. So he like dips off like the side and kind of like swings around, and he throws like his hook off to the side. He's just like, woo! And like slides off to the side and drops between the towers.
I guess I will just jump after him.
All right, make me an acrobatics check.
I mean, like I'm just gonna hit the wings and glide. Like once I clear whatever platform we're jumping off of.
Sure, yeah.
Acrobatics. Let's see. 12.
12. All right. So as you jumped immediately after the path he's jumping, you see he's got the rope, and he like latches it onto one of these towers and like starts sliding in. You walk as the towers like sort of close around you, and for a second you think, oh my god, I'm crushed. And then you find yourself and you hit the thing and you watch your wings go and like pop out, and you realize you're on cold stone. And you see the guy go, they're just kind of hanging there. He's like, oh, and then he like lets the rope go, and you realize you were inside of a tower.
I'm not a huge fan of doors, but I think I like doors more than that.
You go, you say that, and then there's just kind of a behind you, and you turn around and you look, and you like look up around you, and you close as you're closing your wings up, and you see this familiar sort of mechanoid just covered in plate mail, and it just reaches down and grabs you by the shoulder and just like rips you up off the ground and goes, nice to see you again. And you recognize this is one of the individuals that you fought Silverwind's finest, known as Rod, a paladin that you competed with down
right,
in the
brawl thing.
Brawl, yeah.
I remember you.
You're not a member of our school. What are you doing here?
Working with a member of your school.
Carrick's like, that one's mine, Rod. You keep your hands to yourself. Says, understood. Well, make your time here enjoyable. And he just kind of starts like clanking off into the distance.
Kind of sighs like, oh boy.
You see that this area that you're in, you're landing on cold stone, and you can see that there's like a door behind you that just sort of looks like a shadowy threshold. And in the middle, there's a sand pit, and people are just kind of wrestling each other in the sand pit, like not 10 feet in front of you, but it's this big square room filled with sand pit. And then you see like there's training weapons on the walls. And then you've got like little stands of different training weapons that's just like sitting in the middle. And there's also like this circle that of like stone that just works its way through each of the sections and cordons it off into like little mini arenas for sparring. There seems to be stairs on the far corner leading up to the next floor, and then the other side leading down. He's like, right, this way, hurry up! And he just runs straight up the stairs.
Just like followed him, but completely watching back towards whatever like sparring's going on.
You see a couple of different Dragonborn that are fighting each other, and they're like actually throwing breath attacks at each other, just like trying to combat them one against the other, just breathing into each other's mouths, like open screaming, like, and there's just like two different elements just clashing.
Yeah, it's the I know what I'm there for, but the look of like, can I do that? Like as you're going up the stairs.
Yeah, as they led you up and you continue following them. You run past a couple of different floors. You see that there is a room that is literally just a bunch of people getting their muscles worked out by like what appears to be headless drones almost, but they're made of wood. And they just sit there and they're just like massaging everybody's shoulders and like keeping them like, and it's almost like a sauna room. You can see the heat just billow up as you pass by it. Everybody's working out their muscles.
What was the requirement to get into this school again?
Oh, I don't know. I think you're supposed to do well on the actual physical exam. Well, come on after me. Don't double. So you make your way up to the next floor, and then you see that there is a library, and it is completely empty. And you keep running up to the next floor, and then finally you see that to have arrived at some sort of like section of different doors. And as he looks around, he goes, "Oh, right, okay. So I believe we're presenting to the headmaster, who is also a dwarf." He's like, "He's one of mine, so don't worry, he won't be mad we're late." And as he bursts through the door, he says, "Norm, I'm here." And you'd see this like sort of like old, like buff as fuck looking dwarf. Like you've seen dwarves, you know they're stout and that they've got like a lot of muscle, but this individual dwarf, his bicep has to be bigger than his own head, like just massive thick arm. And as you see you walking in, he's like scribbling on the world's like tiniest little notepad, and he's like, "This one there's going to do alchemy. Fair enough. Oh, she's gonna be pissed." And as you walk in, he goes, "What's up, Darren? We're here to present." He's like, "Oh, right, Derek. You mentioned something about recognize you. Ah, yeah, you're recent addition to, what did you choose? Not Us, I remember. You went for Hiram Academy, didn't you?" Eli was bragging about it. He says, "Oh, look at me. I've got one of my shiny Uxbahmarty," he called you. I was like, "Well, he's fine, whatever. You've got yourself another shiny person. Who fucking cares?"
I looked at myself like, I mean, I know some shiny people, but I'm just blue. Like,
Hey, he's just a blue fella. It's like, when you get eyes as keen as mine, you see the shine in him. Anyways, get it. What was it? Something about some sort of runic knife or something? Says, right. Okay. So it's holy shit! Did we name this thing?
we didn't name this thing. Name to be determined.
Name to be determined. Oh, that didn't go well. It says, right. All right. So, what's it do?
Kind of looks. Well, it's for making tattoos.
Right. No, he says tattoos, but it does more than just tattoos. Like you can use it on materials. It can carve into literally
it can
any
tattoo like
material.
a wall.
So it's like a paintbrush.
No.
Sharper.
Paintbrushes have bristles. This knife has no bristles.
It has blades instead of bristles, but it's a paintbrush all the same. Like a palette knife. I've seen that.
But those don't work the same, and you can't use a paintbrush very well on people.
Right, and more importantly, each of the different inks that can come out of these things have different properties. We really should have written something to show what this thing did beforehand.
How about a demonstration?
It's that's a demonstration. Okay. Well, I don't particularly want my walls tattooed. Well, if you've got something else you can tattoo, though, that's not mine.
Sure, I'd love a demonstration.
What else is around this room?
Looking around, you see that there are a couple of workbenches with a sharpening wheel in the corner. It's pretty Spartan, the room. It has lots and lots and lots of swords, axes, hammers, just sort of hanging on the wall. And there are a couple of bookshelves, but they look to have like registry information and stuff that he would have to have as the headmaster of this scholastic school. He doesn't have a whole lot that doesn't appear to be made of metal or appears to be an important book. Is there anything specific you're looking for?
Tattoo the dwarf's butt.
Thought about doing that. Maybe not his butt, but I want to grab one of the hammers, like just something that looks like just a big hammer. Not necessarily valuable, just like a
just
hunk
like
of metal.
something that wouldn't have been used for like not a war hammer, not even maybe a smithing hammer, but just a hammer for like maybe a tanning hammer or something that's used to like pound the leather into the frame or something. Whatever like little chisel in hammer sort of thing you can find, something cheap. Go ahead and make an investigation check for that.
That's a 4.
4. Cool. So you grab a war hammer off of the wall that's quite nice looking. He goes, well, no,
it's fine. It's fine. See, so normally if you wanted to make any changes to this, right, you would have to take it to a forge and get it nice and hot. And if you wanted to add like an inscription or an enchantment to it, right, it's a lot of work, right? You know, I'm just kind of swinging the hammer around like.
This is happening to me.
So say you wanted to add something to this, and you have one of these, and you just take it like this, and I'm just gonna go to like the base of the hammer, like where the like handle would connect to it, and just be like, see, you just start carving into it, and I'm gonna just do like I'm gonna go for like my goal is to do like the celestial rune for like return.
Okay.
And I'll take a moment and even pull out the book, like the dictionary book of the celestial one I took from the library.
All right. So currently, your knife is not functional.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so you start trying to carve into it. Go ahead. Oh, God. Go ahead and just roll me a D100 because this is something that you're doing.
It's 75.
75? Okay. So you start trying to carve into it, and you can see it's chipping, and there's kind of like this noise of it just like grating through the metal, like just kind of. And he goes, oh, shit, oh no, oh God, oh yeah, it's too late now. I'll let him finish. And you can see Carrick's going, oh shit, he's carving into his hammer. Oh.
Pause and like look for the ink and be like, I need something.
He goes, we didn't rip anything.
Do you happen to have any fluids in your office?
He looks at you for a second. He's like, and he looks at Carrick. He's like, I mean, it's. And he's just like, I've got my ale. And he just grabs a barrel with one hand, just like palms it and slams it on the table. You gonna put ale on the hammer?
Do you think that would work?
Shit if I know. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to use like gemstone dust or something.
Right, but we don't have that ready. We gotta use something.
I don't fucking know.
You guys need to bring SETI to these things. You have a bard.
I say we fucking try. I guess we're already this deep.
We might not. It might not work on metal though. How strong is your ale?
Do you want to find out? He takes it. He grabs like a small mug, and he pours until the foam sort of starts to hit the top and pulls it off and puts the cork back in, and he just kind of grinds it over to you.
Take a sniff and just take a swill. Just.
All right, you take a sip of it. Maybe a Constitution saving throw.
That's a natural 20 for a 32.
I mean, this is some good shit. This is the kind of shit that makes you quite pleased to drink. You can feel your tongue go slightly numb the second it hits. It almost evaporates. The alcohol content is so high. The fact that this could be considered ale, some sort of magic is required, because this is stronger than most liquors that you've ever had.
No. Because that'll work. I'm just gonna pour some into like where one of the tubes would be for the ink.
Okay, yeah. So the well that would like actually mix and have it like go down that wouldn't be working. But so are you just kind of like pouring it on the blade? Like how are you
like
to
just
administer
into
this?
the back groove? Like I'm just gonna kind of like pour it into the groove, like manually filling.
Give me a dexterity check.
It's 13.
13. All right, so you spill some over the blade. Like it's pretty fine the way that you're going in, but you're still spilling stuff everywhere. There's basically just looks like you're pouring ale on a knife, and it's just tripping onto the ground. He's like, okay.
So the idea is right. Ink would flow through here. The ink's kind of expensive. So for demonstration purpose, we're going to use your ale.
And my hammer.
What, your hammer? What? On your hammer? Yeah, I mean.
Proceed.
And just going to go to like the wood part of the handle instead. And I'm just going to carve like strength into it with the ale.
Okay. And again, because it's Mitnir, roll me a D100.
That's a 90.
90? Okay. So as you start carving into this thing, you see like the wood's kind of like leaving like a bunch of dust behind, or leaving a bunch of stuff behind, and you can see that it's getting wet with the ale, and that's about like all that's really happening. And you're like, I can't see what I'm doing, so you blow on it, and little sparks of electricity kind of like flick at it, and you just keep carving. And as you do, you watch a little bit of a glow starts appearing on it, and it just solidifies. It almost like Kismet. You find yourself knowing where to start cutting now. And as you finally finish carving the rune in, probably takes you about total 5 minutes, and sitting in front of him, and he watches you, and he's like, look at the new hammer. There's that Vulcan guy still making hammers nowadays. Just whispering to himself, thinking that you ruined his hammer. And as you do, you pull it out, and you can see that there's kind of like this little sort of like about the same color as the ale, this little faint glowing rune in the handle of the hammer.
So I can't say that it's like perfect, if it truly worked at all, but this was our first attempt, proof of concept. But the idea being is that you could modify things, and I'm not a enchanter by any means, but in the hands of someone skilled, this could streamline the capability of doing these things. And I'm going to hand him the hammer.
You hand him the hammer, and he holds it, and he's like, oh, look at you scratched right there in the middle. Oh no. And then he looks, he's like, what does this do? What does it even do? And he holds it, and he's like, "My hammer smells like ale now."
That's a bad thing?
Hold on. And he holds it, and you can see just like he's mulling over the hammer. He's like, "Wise." And then he pours himself a drink. And he goes, "It couldn't be." And he picks it up, and he takes a swig and goes, and he sets it down. And he holds the hammer in his hand, and he kind of grinds it into the table. And his eye kind of crosses for a second. "You made my ale stronger." Holy shit, get it? You made a hammer that when I hold it, my boost gets stronger. And Kira goes, "It's a fucking miracle."
What? No, these things happen all the time. It's not a miracle.
All right, so we'll cut from this scene over to Orin running his way through the halls of the High Realm Academy. And you see that there's like a little bit of hubbub going on, and people do have some of their devices that they're like presenting, or some people are just going over a bunch of papers and stuff, standing outside Eli's office. You don't see Caldwell anywhere.
How long has it been since I started heading up here?
That's a good question. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a d10?
And
Well, it's been 10 minutes there, Warren.
shit. I'll just go right inside.
Just like burst through the door. There's a guy who's like, "Oh, ooh." And as you like burst through, you just come through the door, and you see that he's like sitting there, and he's like thinking about stepping onto the board to show how it works in Eli's office. But he doesn't, he seems like tentative, and he kind of stops and he looks, he's like, "Oh, thank God you're here, man. I'm shit." And then you turn around and you see it's not just Eli sitting at his desk, papers all over the place. You do see his little helper is still moving about the floor, like picking things up and putting them in little piles. But you also see what appears to be a wolf of some kind, sort of light blue colored fur, moving away from a very almost charismatic face, very human-like eyes looking at you. He goes, "Oh, is this the Owen we've heard so very much about?" And you see like he's sort of like got like this nice gold robe on that sort of makes him look similar to you in like a sort of monk style, the way like the robe like wraps over itself. But this wolf that's sitting on its hind legs, like just sort of like sitting in a chair, but like in like a really awkward sort of way, but very pristine looking. So it's, "Oh, well, I've heard so very much about you. Welcome to your presentation of your invention." A bit late, aren't we?
Yeah, sorry, there's a line up at the elevators.
On the other side, you see what appears to be almost similar to a satyr. An individual with like sort of like pulled back horns and long hoofs. Again, sitting in an awkward way. He doesn't seem to like truly be sitting on his chair, but almost like hovering a little bit above it. And he says, "This one, being as late as he is, kind of irks me in some ways, but I'm still prepared to listen." "That is good. Well, Oren,
As I walk up to the
the-
board. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
what we've heard so far is that your board is very fast. And we've heard quite a lot about its ability to lock against itself, so you don't fall off. A bit too much, one might say. Yes, indeed, I agree with that one. Sorry. I'm not much of a presenter, so... what?
So as I walk up to the board, I'll just be like, "Apologies for the delay, but the best inventions are worth waiting for. and then I'll just hop on the board, click it into place.
All right, make me an acrobatics
and,
check.
A
As you
check.
just hop onto the board, yeah. All smooth like acrobatics.
17.
17. Yeah, you jump on the board. There's kind of this moment where you like, and some of the papers go sort of fly off into the distance as you do, and you see his helper just goes, and just moves over and starts picking the papers back up. It's like, impressive. You can jump onto your device. So,
Hold on to your
Proceed.
hats. And I'm just going to start zooming in circles around the room and going up and down.
yeah, you start like sort of like hitting the walls, like basically like riding up the, because the entire thing is basically just like this big, tall, like tower-like room, just filled with bookcases. So you're just like
Yeah.
kind of like running up the bookcases, and just like books are fucking flying everywhere, just falling from the shelves, just hitting the floor. And you see his little helper guy. I don't remember his name anymore. Sitting there at the bottom, just looking up, just going, "Fuck, man, gotta get a new job." And Eli's just looking just completely dispassionately, and the other ones are like,
Oh, very interesting. Yes, I know this quite a bit.
you do this. Make me another acrobatics check.
18.
18. Yeah, so you do a fairly decent job, like flying all over the place. You kind of like stall out at one point and kind of like have to like do a bit of a like 180, 360 sort of like spin, and then you kind of come back down, and then just a little bit of pulse of energy as you come to the ground. It says, as you can see, the mobility on this, as I was trying to say, is quite extraordinary. Said,
Yes, I find it be very intriguing. That said, I do believe we have a few questions as to whether or not this going forward as the Highland Academies. To say. Yes, I also had a bit of a question about marketability. What exactly is the purpose of this? I mean, I understand for you young people the fun of a quick flight. Those that don't have it, it's quite something. But what's the practical application? What are we doing it for?
Well, I'm sure you all know how airships work. This is same thing, but personal.
I see. So a personal transit device.
Yep. And you do not have to have any magical skills to use this.
But you do seem to have to need for quite a bit of balance. Your friend here did not fare so well on his first attempt at riding it.
You can lock yourself to the board so you won't fall off.
Oh, trust me, we've heard all about that.
And I'm just gonna like flip it upside down so I'm hanging from it.
Like, yes, quite impressive indeed. I question how much would a unit of this kind cost to make, and then how much would we be selling one for?
Well, it would probably depend what kind of materials you wanted to craft it out of. And then the cost of Zephyrite and Aquam to power it. So probably not cheap, but
It is no mere consequence to me. Money is nothing but a material object. But these are the things that will bring honor to our school. These are the questions they will ask, is things like marketability, price points, other
well,
such jargon.
don't think this is only used for travel. It can also be used in combat.
Really?
Given
I find it would
those
be
without
very
the
difficult.
method of flight, the capability to get things off the ground.
I could see its purpose. I could see it being used. I myself am a bit questionable about the situation, but... Well,
another future use could be some sort of new sport.
a sport.
Players on two teams, all on boards, competing for victory over something. It's just off the top of my head, but it could happen.
Way to placate the masses further. And what would you call such a sport?
Zephyr Ball?
Zephyr Ball.
Make a persuasion check.
Just spitball in here. I'm really not good at persuasion.
I was like, I love the fact that we both made interesting things. It's like, but neither of
5.
us is a bard.
5.
I question exactly how such a sport would go. Boards, balls, flying. Is there a hoop? Is there a goalie? Or is there some sort of different sized balls? Who knows? In general, I think we can put that on the back burner and call it a non-starter as it is. Although
Just
I
say
do
it.
like the name.
As the school that found the device, you could create the game whichever way you wish.
Again, back burner on such a decision. What do you think, Professor Lupine?
Well, I do think it could sell. That much is certain. I find it very interesting. The practicality of how it would be used by the Nexium. I do think that it would be helpful if it could get the price point quite a bit further down. I mean, mithril is quite expensive. Not to mention aquam is a rare substance.
Actually, it's not as rare as it used to be. Friend Orem here and his party have opened the gates, in case you haven't heard, of the cauldrons.
Oh, have they? Oh, well, I was uninformed. Well, that is a bit interesting. If aquam became more readily available, it'd bring the price of this aqueous gas down quite a bit. I do love your melodology and your application, but your presentation skills are quite lacking.
Well, I'm just a humble adventurer. I'm not really good at presenting things. More good at fighting things.
Yes. Well, I say that we bring all of this down to a... I say we give you 3 days to find a good presenter to join you, join your team. Without a presenter, I can't sign off on this. But we'll be making the decision within 3 days as to which one of you we will choose. We have a few other inventions coming through the pipeline that are quite nice. I won't sugarcoat it. I was kind of surprised we didn't get another firearm from you, Caldwell.
Well, been there, done that, sir.
Yes, indeed. I understand completely. To move on to different things is the nature of an individual. They don't want a repeat of the past.
I agree as well. I think it is a refreshing idea, but again, if you can't sell me on it, how will you sell those doddering fools? So, 3 days. Bring a good presenter, and make sure that they have space in their agenda for the academy. Well, that concludes this meeting. We have many more to see. Hopefully, there'll be someone with good presenting and a better invention than yours. No offense. Goodbye.
Always bring your bard.
As you guys head out, a couple of people see you like tucking the board back into the bag of holding. He kind of sees like the top of it for a second. Somebody's like, "Oh, what's that?" He's just like, "Back off, or I swear to God, I'm gonna put one right between your eyes for being so nosy." Sort of backing off. He's like, "Shit, we gotta find us a presenter." How many competitions your friend said he in?
We don't know yet.
2, I think. Maybe 2. We don't. Depends which qualifies for. Definitely 1. Definitely 1.
Well, we might be asking her to help with with this. If she got nothing else going on. If she's busy, we better get talking to some folks, because I'm not gonna lie, I do not speak to a lot of people from the school. They do not like me very much.
I mean, I'm rarely here, so
Yeah, we've got to start networking and fast.
all right, I'll go get in touch with Zeddy.
Meanwhile, over at the other school, there's cheering going around, and everybody's pouring drinks and passing the hammer back and forth.
They're getting totally wasted.
And Throm puts his arm on his shoulder and goes, "All right, what is your name again? Midnight?
Mitnir.
Midnight? Well, I think that we have a winner here. Now, there may be questions because you're not a member of our school, but if there is, I promise I'll hear them out. Okay. They see what this thing can do. I mean, frankly, just a hammer that makes you drunker faster, we can save millions."
I'm glad. It's kind of an accident, but sorry about the scratch on the hammer head.
Oh, it's fine. This is my drinking hammer now.
So if we have the time to finish it, though, it can do more of that on all material. Well, or materials, maybe all materials.
Aye. Well, I'm fucking sold. We sold, everyone. Everybody's roaring and just having a great time, and everybody's cheering in the tavern that is on the bottom floor of the tower.
Just gonna look at Kieran, just like, I told you it was good. See?
I think great. Yeah, we did a great fucking job.
But we need to finish it.
Aye. Well, let's head back down and let's get studying, yeah? Faster we get this done, the quicker we can move on to, well, testing it on how many more of these hammers we can make.
In 1 second, grabs the hammer and takes a drink.
Yeah, everybody starts cheering. Bropsy, if you could do me a favor, and you could do your roll for alchemy today.
Okay. Yeah, it's being so. What is it? Intelligence plus proficiency?
Intelligence plus proficiency.
Okay. 26.
26. Okay, so you are going to make time and a half. So that's an additional 12 hours of learning. Unless you want to push it today, if there's nothing else you want to do, you could extend it and actually study for 12 hours. And you can make it 18 hours.
Sure.
Okay, so Ropsy does not show up to dinner, but is instead
get
taking
caught
the
up.
night course and is getting caught up. How are you doing on your percentages? How many hours do you have in alchemy so far?
Well, math, I had 56, so plus 18, that makes it 74.
74? So as you're getting a real knack for alchemy and how it relates to the other two that you are familiar with, You begin to just get like a greater understanding for how to do all of this as a whole, and your mixing and methodology becomes a lot more sound. You think you're getting pretty good at it. Is there anything else that you would like to do? I mean, you're going to take your whole day doing this, but is there anything else you would like to do, like before bed or anything like that?
Not that I can think of. Oh, besides, yeah, I'm gonna have to
Yay.
rest in here.
All right, so
Around lunchtime, I'll send him a message on the seal and like, or call him whatever, and be like, "Hey, so we need to actually like get that out of you."
you're in the middle of like chugging when this thing comes out, and you hear Bropsy sending you this message about it.
Do what?
You see just a whole bunch of people partying in a tavern.
Just come visit my room before bed.
Okay. Drink, drink, drink.
Yeah, is he gonna remember that conversation?
Yeah, you just
Call
see
him
him.
at
He's just
bedtime
going,
if not.
he's just like, okay, and then you just see lightning shooting out of his mouth. Blah, blah. Just drunk as fuck. Cool. So,
But I do have out of question character for how many of the potions I get to learn, because I was actually looking at the thing and I don't know like if it's written down somewhere or where it's written down, because I can't
it's written
find...
down in the rules, and we can go
Like-
over it during the break, which is coming up in like 15
Okay,
minutes. We
fair
can
enough.
go over exactly how many of those you get, and which ones, because it'll take me a second to look it up.
Okay.
Okay, so Seti, what are you doing with your day?
Oh boy, what am I doing with my day? Well, I am going shopping.
Okay.
Because I need. Hang on, let me check my inventory real quick to make sure I didn't already buy it and forget about it. That was the ink. Yep. I need to go find some strips of ivory and a bunch of incense.
Okay. Make me an investigation check for ivory.
25?
25. The first couple shops that you ask around about, like, hey, where can I get some ivory? You get some people who like give you dead stares and just say, can't believe you would ask me that. Some kind of monster?
It can be secondhand.
And they just turn away. And so there's like a lot of this where it's just like, who would kill a majestic creature and take its ivory? How dare you?
I don't like it either, but you know, if it's already... I don't want to buy from a poacher, I want to buy from a resale shop. Thrifted ivory.
Yeah. As you begin asking around more for this, it's about the third shop that you have to ask that somebody says, well, it's not something we could do. Where do you go? Where would you start your look, your search for this? Do you just ask around on the bridge? Do you ask around in one of like Twilight Town or like Necrom, or like where do you go? You can go anywhere in Selindor now.
I'm going to be heading towards the Summer Soldiers, so I might just hit up any shops on my way.
Yeah, nobody in the Summer Grove is going to be selling ivory or any bone parts of an animal.
How about incense?
Incense shop. You do walk into a place called the Coughed Up Lung, and you walk up and you see that everybody in there. You open the door and just smoke is billowing out, and you can see people inside just having a good old time. Some of them are smoking pipes. Some of them are just enjoying the different incense. But this place is an affront to your senses. They have everything. So much is on fire in here. It's insane. And you see there's a fire genasi that appears to be the purveyor of this establishment. And as they walk by, things will just sort of catch fire and start lighting up. And there's actually a person in the corner who's just got like their nose completely plugged. And as they're like this little gnome individual, and they walk in and they go, customer, how can I help you?
Yes, I need really good quality incense, about 500 gold's worth.
Oh, yes, we can certainly provide that. Come this way. What would you
Okay.
like?
He brings you over to this section, and then you. So he begins showing you stuff, and then you see the purveyor behind the counter just goes, just enjoys, like, breathes in and just like enjoys the entire smelling process. You see there's an individual in the corner that seems to be made out of like mushroom material, one of those mushroom folks, and just sitting there in the corner, and he's smoking a pipe and just going massive rings, or like battling the other smoke clouds in the shop.
Being in here is certainly an experience I was not prepared for. Can we make this quick?
Oh, yes. Sorry. Will you please select your type of incense you like? This place has plenty of different kinds.
It just needs to be good quality incense. I don't really care what.
All right. Our highest quality incense. This way, please.
So he gives you 2 little bags that are about like this size.
Okay.
And inside you see what appears to be almost like shimmering sort of bit of like little sort of block of black, right? So it's like this little black, almost like little cone or pyramid shape, but it's just like almost shimmering, and there's like 4 per pack. He puts it down in front of you.
That should do you.
Thank you. 500 gold?
On the nose.
I pass that out. Take my incense and go.
Yeah, so you see the Farginus behind the counter sees you make the purchase. Thank you for your business. Oh, bye. And then just go straight back, rests her head back down. And you leave. For Ivory, one of the shops that you walk into along the way says, well, I can't provide you with ivory, but I do know that there are creatures from the material plane who revel in the butchering of animals and the purveying of their, well, bones, flesh, what have you. They sell their wares here. Ivory is one of the exports in the Dawn City.
I'd hate to buy from one of these people, but I do need it for spell casting, and I don't know of any good alternatives. If there's a thrift store that sells, secondhand stuff.
If you head to Dawn's Cradle, I'm sure that you can pick some up in one of the shops around there.
All right, thank you.
Surely. Well, although I don't approve of their methods, we here make use of what we have as well. So I will not judge them.
Right.
Nor you for purchasing, but good luck to you.
Thank you. I've never felt so judged in my life, and I'm a vegetarian!
Yeah.
Wouldn't the shopkeepers know about the thing you gave Ropsy? That
Talking about residuum? Yeah, probably. She was asking for residuum.
And none of them thought to mention that as an alternative?
She doesn't. That most places don't have it. It's not a common substance.
Okay.
Like,
It'll suck later when we talk about it, and Ropsy's like, oh, you can...
So this is the case where you should have brought the barbarian with you.
I guess so. Well, in like an antique shop that sells like an ivory pen or like letter opener, any of that would.
There are plenty of places around here where there's bones from creatures. Like it's not that weird of a thing. There are so many witch shops and stuff like that. Like not in the Summer Grove, but on your way through like the Twilight Grove and stuff. There are plenty of places that do bones. The thing is that ivory itself, like specifically ivory, like from like an elephant or anything of the like, is very rare in the Outer Plains. The only kind of ivory you could get would be from like a Hollyphant, which such ivory would be incredibly expensive and truly evil.
Are dragon?
What about from like a mammoth?
What or like dragon horns?
Mammoths
Are
too.
those not ivory?
They're their own. Those are dragon bone. They're specifically dragon bone.
All right. Well,
But yeah, mammoth and elephants and something of the same type would be where you get ivory.
So Seti will make a mental note to go over there later. I'm going to finish up in the Summer Grove first by going to visit Poppy.
Okay, so as you pop in through the door. Oh, hello, sister. It has been some time. I guess I can call you now that openly.
I was going to say, I mean, that's kind of what I came here to talk about, but so I'm glad we're on the same page.
Don't worry, I get informed of everything my sister does. Sometimes to her knowledge.
Right. Well, I figured we should just cut the bullshit and level with each other, so you know, I know you know, and I figure you've known longer than I have, so there it is.
And I know you know I know.
All right, so...
Well, at least now I don't have to call you half-breed or anything of that sense. Now you understand what I meant by my little hint. Apologize.
I mean, I always knew as a half-breed, I just, yeah, I mean, that's fair. Ooh, when I walked in, that mural that I helped paint in the hallway, is that still there?
I don't remember what you painted.
It was, I had been at the tea shop sketching while I was like high, basically. And then I took that sketch, like,
I just don't remember what you painted. What it was.
Chamomile had posed, and a couple of the other fae at the tea shop had posed. So I made a mural of all of them.
Yeah, it's still there.
Okay. I was just curious.
It's still there on the wall. There's like a little crack in the middle where the mini versions of you that were painting that week kind of merged, where like it's a little bit like weird. Like when you kind of look at it, like the crack makes you uncomfortable.
The one on day 7 was a better painter than the one on day 1. So
yeah. But there's like this section of the wall, because you guys were doing it simultaneously. Sure. That when you look at it, it makes you a little uncomfortable to look at it.
I was just curious if it was still there.
Yeah, anyway. It's still there. So what can I do for you?
Well, there was this whole game you guys had me playing of go do this, go infiltrate them, go steal that, go do this. And I figured
Yes, would you like to keep playing?
Well, not really, because there are more important things happening. But I would like to keep working together and to stay on good terms.
Fair enough.
Now,
fair enough.
I have spent considerably more time with Hyacinth, and I'm just gonna drop my disguise self that I normally do, the summer Seti version that's all blonde and white and gold glittery.
She doesn't even bat an eye.
Yeah, I mean, like, what's the point? You could see through it the whole time anyway. So I've heard a little bit of Hyacinth's side of the story, of what the deal is between the two of you. And
there's a lot of deals between the two of us, dear.
Sure.
A lot of time, a lot of mixed memories, such is the nature of Selindor. Right. At this point, the animosity has become almost a necessity of our relationship.
See, I won't pretend to understand, but I don't want to get in the middle of anything either. But I do believe we all have a shared interest in...
Fair enough to say that throughout all the multiverse, the two of us have never gotten along.
Why, though? Is it just...
Like I said, rivalry? Many reasons. It just seems like that is part of the balance of the universe itself. But there have been many reasons over many times,
right,
in which we have hated each other. The one that we most commonly talk about is the old Black Diamond story.
Yes, that is the one I heard from her.
one of the reasons we hate each other happened many a time.
She said it was meant for you, a curse meant for you that she took instead.
Yes. She was there to receive it, and it changed her.
And you
I
hold
thought
that
she would be
against her somehow.
I truly hold it against myself, I must say. But it changed her in a way in which there was no... My sister has done some very evil things in her time. In multiple worlds. And whereas here she may rise above it for the necessity and be kept civil by Lord Iris, she has killed many of my children. Many of the Fae of the Summer Court.
I see.
And though it may not be her own doing, she is not free from guilt just because she was poisoned in the mind.
That is a difficult thing to forgive, even if forgiveness were being asked.
Maybe time will mend all wounds, as they say. But for now, by our very nature, we cannot call each other friends.
You are day and night. Can I ask what your plan was for the fracture I stole? Or was allowed to steal?
Oh, I was thinking of putting it in something she truly despised. Maybe some sort of spring eldrin. Ooh, or maybe a kitten. Oh, like a little baby beaver. What do you call this?
A baby beaver?
Yes, I feel like there's like a pup for everything. A sort of small thing. Kitten for cat, pup for dog. What is it? A joey for a kangaroo? What do you call a beaver?
I can't say that I know.
Well, whatever it is, I thought about putting it inside one of those.
It's called a kid, a pup, or a kitten.
Does she hate beavers?
Well, she truly despises those strange little cute adorable little creatures that, they say help the princesses in their fairy tales, follow them around singing. Oh, she loathes it.
Fair enough. But you said you thought about doing that, which means...
I haven't done anything with it just yet, no.
You haven't decided?
No, I'm still looking for something that would truly ruffle her feathers. Ruffle her petals, I suppose.
Yes. I... This is not what I came here to talk about, but it has just occurred to me that I will be in need of another fracture myself soon. I have one from the matron, and one from Hyacinth, and one from Dad. Would there be any chance of procuring something complementary through the Summer Soldiers?
Oh, do you mean a fracture from me?
I would not deign to ask that exactly.
Oh, well, if you're going to have one of Father's, one of my sisters, you might as well have one that balances in power.
It is, yes. It would be the poetry of it.
Well, currently I do not have anything on hand, but
I won't be ready for a little while longer, but...
give me some time. And if another version of me should happen to happen here, that fracture shall be yours.
Thank you. It is very generous. Now, you know our mission and the work we are doing. presumably you know what we are doing at the school.
I'm not entirely sure what you're doing at the school, but I'm eager to know.
We are trying to undermine those that would wake the dreamer.
They're just completely black eyes, just sort of blink at you.
So things, it feels like we have little time for diverging from this path, dallying elsewhere. But I would like to continue to assist the summer soldiers in matters of equal import, should they arise. I don't know that a partnership would ever be possible between you and Hyacinth, but I will do my best to avoid choosing sides or showing favoritism or any of that nonsense, because I think at the end of the day, all we all want is for everything to survive so that we can keep hating each other.
Oh, I agree. The hymnal, eh? Well,
Good.
I'm quite happy that you wish to continue working with us. If you wish to do some jobs for my sister, fair. But no more spying for her side. You can spy for me, but not for her.
I will be nothing but straightforward from here on out.
Fair. Well, as it were, there are not a lot of truly important goings on. At Lord Iris's decree, we are training our soldiers, and we know there is a fight to come, but they need not know what it is. Don't go about saying more than you should.
Everything. Yes. Yes.
But I will let you know if there's anything of import that has been tasked to us.
Excellent. I'm glad we had this talk. It's nice
As
to
am I.
shed the bullshit. Most of it, anyway.
Well, we all do what we must. Also, I hear you've come into business with my husband.
Your husband?
Oh, you didn't know? Goes by Chamomile.
You're married to... I love him so much. He's so fun. Wow. Okay.
Oh, God, you're one of those.
But we had
Well.
fun together.
Yes, he's quite a bit of fun. He's also a whore.
Oh.
Please don't fall prey to it.
Oh, God, no. I'm not interested in that kind of stuff. No way.
That's what I love about you. Well,
All right.
I will
yes.
just say that I approve. It is fine. Just a fair bit of warning of his nature.
It will not be a problem on my end.
I'm glad we had this talk.
Yes.
She sort of stands up, and she's shorter than you, and she kind of does a little jump kiss to either side of you and says,
Off you go.
Right. See you around.
And you.
and as you exit from her sort of bridged canopy section between the two halves of the summer soldiers, her office, and begin heading down the spiral staircase, passing by one of the two, either dandelion or sunflower on either side, and begin heading out in search of ivory or whatever else you might be doing. Let's go ahead and take our break. So we will be back in about 5 minutes. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out.
We're back.
All right. So as everybody performs their daily tasks, Seti, I believe you were heading over to Kamana District for ivory.
Yeah, I'm like halfway there when I'm like, oh fuck, and I reach into my bag and I like pull out the little tiny tip of like the mammoth tusk, and I'm like, I've had it this whole time. And then I turn around and go back the other way.
All right, so you spend most of your day looking around before you realize that this is the stuff.
But Cleary was supposed to set me up a meeting with my dad today.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just been, this is what I've been doing before that. And then whenever the meeting time happens, I will go to the Nexus.
Okay, so that would have been like a little bit earlier during the day. So while you were still walking around in the Summer Grove, before you would have taken off in that direction.
Okay.
So you could have easily portaled over there and then portaled back.
Sure.
So yeah. So I will say yes. You get a message clearly. Claire's like, oh yes. Meeting your father. Sorry, completely slipped my mind, but it's almost now.
I'll be right there.
It's like, oh yes, and the Nexus. The Feywild's what embassy.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, bye. So, anyways, as you make your way over to the Feywild embassy, you find yourself in the Nexus, which you have multiple times. You go looking from, gemstone to gemstone, like where the fuck is this? And then you see that there's just like a couple of Fey just hanging out outside one of them, and that gives you enough of a read. And as you walk up, it appears to be like this emerald green color. Or is it? No, actually, it's not anymore, is it? That was the other one. The other one was emerald green. Hold up. I do this all the time. It's... No. I don't know what it is. I used to have a chart for this, and I lost my chart.
Uh-oh.
He does have a colorful chart. I think it was like kind of silvery. I don't know. Now. Here we go. Nope, that's just the far ones. It doesn't give me that still. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it's got a silvery. But you find the embassy. We'll just go with that. As you step inside, you see that unlike the other place that you went to, which seemed to be like this sort of like big open expanse into like a sky cathedral, where you saw Ord was just hammering away at his forge. When you walk into this one, it's almost like you step into a forest. Completely devoid of any real structure, other than like you can look behind you and you can see the area, the door where you came through, and how it meets with Selindor. And you see that there's like a large sort of arch behind you, but you don't see the rest of anything else. It's just an arch of wood. As you step inside to this sort of like forest clearing, there's like wisps floating through the air, light kind of coming from every direction, from some of the foliage, from the treetops, and yet there's sort of kind of this dark vibe still going on as well. It's just this bioluminescence to everything. As you make your way in, you see sitting at just like a simple round table about 20 yards ahead, you see your father, Lord Iris, is just looking around.
Hello.
Oh. Yes, hello, Settimere.
Hi. Thanks for
I was
seeing me.
informed that you needed to speak with me.
Yes, I hate to bother you. I know you're busy. I just had a
It's my
couple of-
lunch break. It's perfectly fine.
Oh, good. There were just a couple
My
of
least
things.
favorite things about bodies is that you have to eat.
Yeah, it's stupid, isn't it? Because you're like, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, but my stomach is making all this fucking noise.
It's truly an odd machination.
Pooping is very inconvenient as well. The whole thing sucks.
I refuse to poop.
I think if you're eating, you should probably be pooping. But
No. When you weave the power of the cosmos, such things are unnecessary, and yet somehow I must still eat.
well, then it seems like you got the best possible outcome. Because now you still get to enjoy things like pancakes. Assuming
What
you
are
like pancakes.
pancakes?
You don't know what pancakes are. Well, I'm going
They
to.
have failed to reach the center of the weave, unfortunately.
I am going to pull out one of my classic SETI breakfasts from the bag of bounty, and I will go through all 3 attempts if I need to. I'm going to give myself advantage on charisma checks.
What is he currently eating?
Salad.
Solid.
Okay.
But it's a face.
Oh, that's a nat one. Yes. So I pull out the best quality breakfast of pancakes and pastries, and it's just like a sampler smorgasbord of all of the good sweet shit.
Waffles, French toast.
Yeah. Look,
That is a very, very strange thing that you have done to a plant in water.
to a plant. What? Oh, the tea?
No, I'm looking at whatever this pancake is. It appears to be a mixture of ground wheat, mixture of sugar, water, egg.
Butter.
It's an odd thing to do to a plant.
It is. I mean, but it's very tasty. Pancakes are my favorite. Rapsy and I fight about it all the time because she likes waffles better, but I think she's a nut job.
You will have to explain butter to me as well. Imagine it's some process that you have done to create this strange cream.
Well, yes. I mean, it's just cream. It's just very thick cream that has been beaten a whole lot.
That is very aggressive.
Yes. Yes, it is very aggressive. But also delicious. Anyway.
He takes a bite out of a pancake. And he pauses for a second. Adequate.
Well, I'm glad it's adequate anyway.
To what can I owe the pleasure of your presence?
Well, I had questions about, I guess, the nature of the weave and the work you do. I mean, I've heard it mentioned and people talk about it, and I'm just like, like I know what they're talking about. And it's fine, I get the gist. But I wanted to better understand what the weave is and how you direct it or whatever, and about the dream space, because now that I can kind of enter it and go to other people's, and I've had other people enter mine, I want to know if there is a way I can protect my dreams from incursion. I assume you are aware of what happened the other night with me and I keep wanting to call his Kieran, the guy from Enveruna that we identified. Sorry, I know that's a lot of big questions.
Yes, you first asked me to explain the universe to you. And then you proceeded to ask me about a person I've been vaguely informed of and quite concerned by the concept that something could enter your dream realm without me being aware,
Yes.
but it is not unheard of. I am limited now in comparison to what once I was.
Do you mean
Being
because...
here limits me the way it limits all beings of exorbitant power.
Um,
On the
Gagnor.
other hand, the expression of the weave, I suppose I could explain it with these pancakes. And he picks them up and he just holds a stack of pancakes and he's like, imagine all of creation that you know of is a pancake.
Mhm.
The weave would be if I had infinite pancakes. In his hands, like he's holding a pancake, and he does this, and more pancakes appear. And then those pancakes continued on, and you watch as they begin to grow, and you just see this sort of like wall of pancake. It's ethereal, but you should still see it.
Mhm.
And he's like, and now imagine a picture that could only be seen at the right angle. Where you look upon these pancakes.
I mean, I was picturing the weave like threads in a tapestry, and the tapestry is all of creation, and each thread
Yeah.
is maybe one possible route things could go.
Hmm.
Is that far from the truth?
No, that's very close.
Okay, good.
But the thing is that it is all happening at once.
Right.
Time is irrelevant. Everything is irrelevant in that sense. But the weave itself is how it is perceived by a being or beings known as overgods. Or, for instance, one removed from godhood, removed from everything, and the source of the tapestry itself and dreams, known as the dreamer or the blind idiot god. I tend to the weave and hide pieces I wish him not to see.
Right.
Which is enough to say that I hide it from Northot. The things that come into a story, even for a divine, even considered omniscient creature, they cannot witness everything at once. There are limitations to all beings in creation, even those that are themselves the source of it. Some of these rules were laid out by Ao. Other of these rules were laid out by myself.
And who or what is Ao?
Think of Ao as sort of a god of gods.
Yeah, I see.
A writer of rules. And those rules being the laws of the universe.
Sort of like Primus was for Selindor.
Well, and then as
Suppose it is.
Primus in this limited situation, we believe Primus had influence, as did I myself at the time. Is there more jam?
Yes, there's always more jam.
Well, most of that is beyond your concern, as it were.
I just wanted to make sure I had my understanding was correct. I didn't want to move forward with inaccurate presumptions.
Suffice it to say that the weave is the omniscient view of one who sees all. And I, in a sense, can steer the weave for the dreamer. Due to my nature.
Because he is dreaming.
And hide things that are too small to notice, such as pancakes and what is this small pastry here with the cream?
That is a Bavarian cream-filled donut.
Like these things I did not know existed. This Bavarian cream-filled donut.
I don't know what Bavarian means, but that's what. Maybe it was barbarian, and then it got misspelled over the centuries.
Correct, a barbarian cream-filled donut, which somehow sours the whole experience for me.
Well, I imagine that if cream is made by whipping, a barbarian would be very, very good at whipping the cream, and it would be extra fluffy because they're so strong.
Sure.
Anyway, whoever it was, they make great donuts.
Now on to your other point.
Yes.
Hiding your mind. Your dream space is like the spheres of existence. Each realm in and of itself is separate but connected, much like the flagellum connects the realm space.
Right.
Moving through that mist, you've done it yourself. You simply seek through the sea of thought and enter someone's inner realm. It is impossible to block it off from anyone who has such capabilities, including myself. However, you can, within your own realm, exert more power than any invader.
Right.
So simply remember that if your mind, your inner realm, your dreamscape is to be infiltrated by an interloper, remember you are my daughter, and of a great bit of my influence resides within you. And that within that place, you will not be surmounted if you put your mind to it. I would recommend practicing. Practice in other person's realm. For instance, you may use Cleary if you wish. I'm sure he will be apt for you to torture him in any such way. He feels very guilty. So, simply invade others' realms. Practice controlling their space, and it will come to you in time to protect your own.
Thank you. I might have done something a little naughty, which I would assume you were also aware of, but since dreams seem to be a little bit finicky, I visited an old enemy and pretended to be some sort of nightmare queen to learn why he betrayed us. Were you aware of this?
If you are referring to the aspirant whose mind you invaded recently, yes, I'm aware of it. Sorry, aspirant is your term. Champion.
That sort of thing. I felt a bit dirty afterwards, like I had done something wrong, and I wanted to check. He's not a nice man, and I'm sure he's not doing nice things. But I don't want to step on any toes or put my neck out too far.
You can do whatever it is you like. As do all the other beings in this place and within the Nexus. They are constantly warring, pranking, sometimes often trying to kill one another.
Yes.
But they all have the same goal in the larger sense.
Do you know if this champion and the people he serves, are they our allies in this fight?
On a surface level, I believe so, yes. On the grand scheme, I would not doubt that they would attempt to gain their own benefit from it beyond the securing of all existence. But that is the way of devils. They are greedy, they are impulsive, they are cruel. But he is the champion of the Infernals, and as such, to cause too much trouble with him would, in a sense, bring some heat upon you, on the flames of the nine hells.
Yes, I definitely don't want trouble with the Infernals. We have enough trouble on our plates. I just wanted to clear that up a little bit in my head. And I had an idea about maybe seeking him after in Veruna, sort of make them fight it out. But I didn't
I
want to do
think
it
bringing in
tentatively.
an outside force, especially one as chaotic, well, not chaotic, but at least evil as they are, would be counterproductive to investigating and finding out what purpose is served here. My main concern is why Primus is seemingly not only allowing these individuals to live within his walls, but seemingly aiding them.
Yes.
We need to discern their exact purpose and what Primus is doing. But, well, he is not the most forthcoming.
No, and I don't imagine we can just walk up there and ask.
I'm certain you could, but you would probably receive a completely useless answer, and then your ability to investigate will be cut off.
Yes.
The reason we are
Yes.
having you move during this time is because it is when they are most active, and when Primus is most distracted.
I admit I'm at a loss when it comes to Primus. I don't know how to snoop on him or gain his inner circle or any of that normal stuff I would attempt.
I would not attempt any of that.
I know. So I
I
don't
would
know what else to
simply
do.
state that the original plan was lure them out.
Find out
You
through Enveruna.
let them come to you. Do not investigate. Simply be. You're interesting enough to pull some attention.
Yes, I certainly
Act
already
as
have.
naturally as possible, and try not to die. Well, that's about all the time I have for lunch. I
That's
liked
good.
these pancakes and barbarian cream-filled donuts. I would have them again if we are to have lunch another time.
I'll make sure to bring some next time I see you. And if you should have a craving before then, there are pastry shops all over Selindor. I'm sure somebody would be happy to fetch you some.
He stands up and he begins walking towards the door, and then he stops and says,
I just wanted to say I'm proud of the person that you have become. It's not something that I have done, but nonetheless, I am impressed by your tenacity and your ability to care.
Thank you.
and then he walks straight into the door, face first. And then he stops. And then he grabs the handle, pushes it first, then pulls it, opens the door and says,
Take care of yourself.
And then walks out.
Right. I will leave. And finish my errands.
So, what is everybody else up to? You have presented your devices and seemingly gotten approval to some form or fashion. I know that Mitnir is drunk, but you still have quite a bit of the rest of the day. Seti and Bropsy seem to have filled their day with their tasks, but you guys still have the afternoon if there's anything you would like to do with it.
Try to finish it. It's about.
Yeah, go ahead and make me a skill check for that.
Drunken crafting. Woo!
You can do it with advantage, since you're getting help from Eric.
What am I rolling?
This is the finishing step, so go ahead and give me dexterity with proficiency.
Dexterity, okay. So 2
It's the fine tuning.
Yeah.
Little bits and bobs.
I'm gonna use my luck
All right.
for a grand total of 15.
15.
Hold on, advantage. So I get one more attempt, basically.
Oh. Yeah, did you not roll advantage the first time?
Nope, it's still a 15. I rolled an 8 again.
Okay. So with that, you still get your 7% to finish it. But it just doesn't quite feel right. It doesn't feel like you hit the mark 100%. Like you finished it, but is it really done? Like you've got the pieces the way you want them, but something feels like it's missing. Like it doesn't feel as complete as everything that you make all the time so easily, and you don't know why. But for some reason, it's not quite doing exactly what you want. Like the pieces are moving, but there's no life to it. So that's just
stares at it.
It's like it's at 100%, but it's like the 100%. It's like what's been happening in Path of Exile, where you get to 100% on your item's little skill tree on your weapon, and it says 100%, but it doesn't actually do the skill tree node. It's like that. Sorry.
I got time to kill, so I'm probably just gonna go and make another Featherfall disc.
All right. Go ahead and make me a roll for working on the Featherfall disc. I mean, you have plenty of things you could do.
I guess after that, though, I will wander towards.
Waiting on materials.
Oh no, I gotta wait. Because she's in class. Never mind.
You're just kind of like chilling until when you finish that. There's the dinner with Cleary, which we don't really have to do. You guys all know what happened.
I have something I need to say at dinner.
I got a 17.
Okay. 17? Yeah, you make some progress on that disc. You're not going to finish it in one sitting. Like, I know you've made them before, but it's going to take a little bit of work to knock one out.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I need to make 3 more at some point.
Yeah, I think you get about 15% of the way. You get the basis laid out, like you're able to like form the disc itself, but you haven't done any of the intricate work. You're just getting some of the components made.
Okay.
All right. Minir?
I resist the urge to just tattoo everything as I wander around for the afternoon until dinner.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I don't think I have anything else I need to do today, particularly.
Cool. So I guess waiting until dinner. Since apparently said he has something she needs to say at dinner. Brobsy won't be there because she is working through dinner.
Yeah.
But as the rest of you arrive, Grim is also not there, but what else is new?
Yep.
Cleary's sitting there, and you see Brogy actually shows up at dinner. He walks in and says, Brogy, you do receive information for the Mushroom King.
Oh. All right. What information did you want?
I am here to update that he is doing his work and he is checking in as told.
Okay.
Brogy thinks this is the best way of doing it. Brogy.
Brogy, I'm holding the knife. Do you want a tattoo?
Brogy.
And I mean, it looks like a knife, so you know.
Yes.
What ink would work on you?
Obviously, mushroom spores.
Oh, yeah. Mushroom spores. Oh, put it into my body, into my veins.
Like rips his shirt open, and you can see like his chest is just like bare, like gray, kind of slimy situation going on.
He's just like, put it in me. Ah.
You would have to bring me the spores.
Oh, what kind of spores would Brogy use without dying? Oh, Mushroom King has spores. For Brogy.
I mean, you bring me the stuff, and I'll give
Brogy
you a tattoo.
will bring you this. We'll wait until after dinner. We will do it tomorrow.
I mean, you're still kind of like he's still kind of drunk, like he's just kind of like sitting funny in his chair and stuff.
Brogy wants to have a fancy meal with the fancy rich blue man.
Yes, that is wonderful, Brogy. You may leech dinner. Anything important to be discussed that can be said in front of Brogy? No offense, Brogy.
Not really. I think
Ripping meat off a leg.
today's been a bit uneventful.
Steady, have you heard back from the box breaker thing yet?
No, I don't. I think they said. When did they say they would be posting the results? Monday? I don't remember. But I wasn't expecting to hear back today. I'll check tomorrow.
I need a good talker to present my board.
Oh, I thought presentations were today.
Yep, but they said come back in 3 days and bring a presenter.
Oh, did you not?
You help me with my knife, I'll help you present.
Ooh, I appreciate the offer, there, but we need someone really good.
Professional.
Oh, right. So that's actually interesting. So you're both entering the Artificer's Expose.
They are.
Is that what it's called?
Yes, the Artificer's Expose, I believe. I might be wrong. I could check. It's written down right here. It is called the Artificer's Expose, yes. I was right. That's good. But I'm also entering the Artificer's Expose, believe it or not.
For what school?
For mine?
Haha. 3-way competition.
Yes, I believe it'll be a nice, healthy competition. And I think between the three of us, we might have invented something that might be of interest in Varuna, maybe bring them out of hiding to inspect our devices. Who knows? I got that mine is a bit different than I'm sure yours are, because it's not technology so much as wondrous item. A bit cliche from, I might say, for me, but I put a lot of energy into it, and I'm quite pleased with the result.
What did you make?
Well, I'm not going to tell you now. What if the information slips? This is a competition.
I mean, could you tell me later when they're not around?
I'm
not in the competition.
Make a persuasion
At
check.
least not yet, anyway. I guess if I present for
Unless you present for me.
persuasion. Oh, that's a 21.
He
Which is
was like,
the lowest I can roll.
he just goes, "No, there's no way I will tell you."
Oh, fine. If it's going to be like that.
You make an insight check there, Mitnir?
Ha! I did a perception to see if I caught him winky.
Insight check.
Insight. Ah, can I keep that roll? Let's see. Insight. Insight's the same thing. It's a +1 either way.
What'd you roll?
A nat 20.
Yeah, you see him wink, yeah.
Just like, I saw that.
Well,
You're drunk, Mitnir.
True.
well, while things are a little bit light, I want... Cleary and Bropsy already got theirs, but I got gifts for everybody. And since I didn't see you two yesterday, last night, here. And Zeddy will hand each of you a candle. And they're from... when you light them, it's supposed to smell like your favorite memories. And just be a nice visitation to things that made you happy. Or, you know, since we don't get a lot of happy things, I thought... Are you sure you want me presenting for you?
I mean, you're good at selling things, right? You can swindle
In defense,
people.
You can't possibly be worse than them.
This is more you being.
I
like,
did great.
vulnerable.
Everyone got hammered.
Yes, so, alright.
I'm
So we know-
questioning whether or not he's talking about alcohol or an actual hammer.
Yes.
So Mitnir, did you get selected? Do we know the result of your meeting?
I think the unanimous answer was
Okay, that sounds good. Good.
Right.
All right.
Which is interesting because I was fairly certain you're both from the same school, so you're participating with another school.
for the silver one. The
Silverwind Academy.
You
That
have a crafting partner.
Oh, interesting.
they wouldn't
Uh,
let me in the forge.
I'm surprised Eli allowed such a thing, so I'm curious to see how that will go.
Did you get permission or did you just do it?
What's the question?
Right. I don't think.
Well, when he finds out, I'll try to smooth it over.
I mean, if you could get the other. I mean.
I will explain the situation and why more is better.
All right. Well, Oren, you'll have to tell me how your meeting went exactly, and I will come up with a pitch that is better than whatever you did. But
Otherwise, I do have a bit. I could help you sort of understand, what they're looking for the pricing and scoring.
that would be good. Yes.
Oh, you mean right now?
Oh well, I mean, not right now. If you don't, we can talk about that later too. I thought you were going to, but
Figured I'll just send an email.
I got 3 days. It's fine.
All right. Yeah, we don't have to do that now. All right. Well, honestly, a lot happened today, but I don't feel like I need to talk about it. So
Word.
I am planning on casting a spell called Legend Lore later tonight. Once I get back to a room, to learn more about the things we're up against. I was.
It is a very good spell. It is limited in what it is capable of, but it is a good spell.
Yes, I've been torn on whose name I should put into it. I don't need to do the matron anymore. I don't know what more I might learn about the bad guys. But
I would urge you to try to find as close as you can to a true name before you use legend lore. Pseudonym may not pull you as much information as you're hoping. For instance, if you were to say the matron, I don't believe you would get too much information except for her ongoings in local legends.
right, and that's fine. I don't think I need to do except to learn her true name. I guess that would be interesting to know, but if anybody has suggestions, things that we desperately
Pick me.
need to know more
Pick
about.
me. Pick me. Pick me.
I mean, honestly, that would be interesting because you've been a bit close-mouthed about what's been going on with you and that big dragon in your dreams. Like, you didn't even remember his name when I asked.
Not to mention the fact that I do believe they need to be of legendary significance.
Yeah, I'm not going
All
to
the
put
spells to
Mitnir
work.
in.
No offense, Mitnir, but I haven't heard of you before you came here.
But I could put in the dragon's name if you could remember it, and we could learn about the dragon if you wanted.
What about that thing they've been calling Mitnir?
Oxpamoti, that just means descendant of Bahamut, sort of.
Oh, is that all that is?
Yeah, it's not a...
But not legendary.
I mean, I could maybe put that in and learn about the, general class of thing, but I don't know.
I'm actually checking my notes right now.
Well, I'll plan on doing that around bedtime, so if anybody has any ideas before then, give me a call.
Oh, Clary, did you procure any magisteel yet?
Oh yes, how much did you need again?
Couple pounds.
Couple pounds? Yes. Yes, I do have about 10 pounds of magisteel. If you want that sent somewhere.
Do you have it on you?
Oh no, it's a little bit more bulky than that. It's not incredibly heavy material.
Could you just send it to my room, I guess?
Sure, yes.
Cool.
I would carry it around, but it's valuable, and he shows you like his pockets inside of his coat. Says, these are my bags of holding, as it were, and it could not fit through the entrance as the ingot forms it was in. So
Cool.
but yes, I'll have it sent to your room.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Well, if there's anything else that anybody wants, needs, have we seen Bropsy?
I assume she's in school, in class.
Fair enough. I know she's been studying very hard on alchemy.
Oh, absolutely, like way too hard. She doesn't know how to have fun anymore. I'm just kidding, we had an excellent sleepover last night.
Damn right we did.
There was pillow fights and everything.
Oh, hey, Mitnir,
So
I got
many
you this abyssal acid mentioned you wanted.
Ooh. His eyes just get like real big, like.
It wants this acid on chicken leg.
You're not supposed to eat.
Oh, God, yes. It's so good.
So my
Like
dad...
so much.
Right.
You have a vial of abyssal acid now.
Also, Mitnir, I noticed you've been itching a lot. You need to go see Bropsy.
I'm not itchy. What are you talking about? But she said to come visit her tonight.
Oh, okay, good. So my father suggested I practice controlling dream spaces by entering other people's dream spaces, and I was wondering if anybody cared to volunteer to have me
Mitney
stomp
raises
all
his
over,
hand again.
to have me stomp all over your dreams. I mean, I figured it wouldn't be a problem, but I wanted to get consent first before I went rampaging around.
You are more than welcome.
All right, maybe we'll take turns. I'll practice in a different person every night so that nobody gets sick of me.
Just to warn you, mine can get crazy.
I mean, well, now you have to elaborate because certain kinds of crazy are fine and certain kinds of crazy would be really awkward to step into.
Well, sometimes I'm
suppose-
not sure if it's a dream, but I see, like, the goat avatar thing
Ah,
doing things to
right.
my soul. I want to say.
Huh.
I don't know. It's not good.
So, I could maybe come in and change that so that you have better dreams. Or get caught up in it and be real bad.
Yeah. Enter at your own risk.
Alright. Duly noted. Claire, you were about to say something?
Well, merely that I suppose we'll find out the dream.
Ah.
Never mind.
Right.
Foot in mouth again, Clary. Come.
Would I do a check to try and remember the dragon's name? Because I don't have it in my notes somewhere. I thought I did.
Yeah, make an intelligence check.
Big money, no Emmy. That's a natural 20 for a 20.
Natural
So
20.
many nat 20s.
I mean,
Nice.
you're like, you know that he mentioned at one time he went by the name Marduk. And that was during his dark days.
Marduk. Yeah, that's the name.
Martha. Are you sure?
I'm always sure.
Alright, because this is an expensive spell, so if I put that name down and I don't get anything.
I have heard whispers of that name before. In not reference to a dragon specifically, though.
Oh, interesting.
This thing is definitely dragon. It got teeth, tail, scales. She's seen it.
Well, there's information
it
in
was
legends and laws
definitely a
about
dragon.
an Uthric god by the name of Marduk, whose entire purpose and existence was to battle Tiamat. I believe there are laws that at one point he slew Tiamat before her reemergence.
Hmm.
Sorry that I just might have wasted your
maybe-
legend lore spell.
No, I mean, if I don't need to cast it now, then that would be great. So, there you go.
Sorry, that was
listeners.
just
There
if
was-
that helps you in any way. But it, again, not a dragon. I believe it had 4 eyes, 4-eared humanoid. Breathed fire from its mouth when it spoke. Very strange within the Uthric pantheon to have anything non-humanoid, actually.
Interesting.
So why would it be in my head?
Oh, that's a good question. I believe that god is a dead power, in fact. Killed.
Huh.
Perhaps even in the slaying of Tiamat the first time? I'm not sure. Certain.
That dragon sure isn't dead.
Tiamat.
No, Marduk. He said
Yes.
that there was
Tiamat is still very much an influencing force, depending on which segment of the multiverse you're.
He mentioned last time I was there a puddle leaked into his realm.
Interesting. So it's perfectly possible that god is still kicking around. I don't know its relations to dragons, other than the hatred of Tiamat. But in a different realm, a different pancake, if you will, Mitnir, it's perfectly plausible that he would still be around. Perhaps you're connected to a world beyond the one you came from. Because the history I'm giving you is from your own realms. But perhaps you're a multiplanar being, a multi-dimensional being. He looks you over. That doesn't sound right.
Does that mean I exist on multiple pancakes at the same time?
That
I
would be
mean-
something, wouldn't it?
In a sense, that's what it would mean. Do you find yourself having mixed memories ever?
It's kind of
What
like
memories?
the real, like blank stare.
Like
Like
you're remembering 2 lives that you've had. Some things might be similar, but maybe there are some inconsistencies, incongruencies, or maybe an entirely different life altogether.
no, yes, no. Is there a spell to answer that question?
Can I do a detect thoughts on him to see what his surface thoughts are?
Yes, you can. Certainly try.
Mitnir, what are
He's
your
letting you,
surface
so.
thoughts right now?
Utter confusion at trying to exist on multiple pancakes.
Yeah, he's picturing pancakes. And like, yeah, okay.
It may be one of those mysteries we never solve. Well, unless there's anything else,
Maybe
I
he's
have-
just too powerful.
I think we'll talk again when you're sober, Mitnia.
or perhaps in his dreams.
Or yes.
But as it is, I feel I'm going to call dinner here. I have some magic steel to deliver and some other tasks to attend to for my school's preparations for the tournament. And
Good luck, and don't forget to send that email.
yes, well, I won't be finding you later to tell you what
Right.
I've made.
I saw that too.
I know.
Well, I
I'm
wasn't
very
hiding it,
upset
Mitnia.
about it.
And you're very drunk, Bitnia.
Still true.
All right, so he drops the bubble and everybody starts going their separate ways unless you have other places you need to head to. Mitnir, I believe, will be knocking on Bropsy's door.
At some point, yes. Whenever that happens.
I mean, shortly after dinner is fine. So.
Okay.
I'll probably just walk with him to make sure he gets there, and then say hi to Bropsy.
Yeah, when you guys get there, you see that Azurus has made a little bit of a nest situation going on there. I don't know if you guys have been there in a while, but she has taken over Bropsy's dorm room within Neverwinter Academy.
I just realized I have a question.
What's that?
I'm going to alchemy classes within my own school, or at a...
It's within the main school proper.
Do I take a Zerista class?
Uh,
Can I take a Zerista class?
You can certainly try.
If I'm allowed to, I do.
I will say that you probably tried this on one of the earlier days
Mm-hmm.
of class than
Mhm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
And upon attempting to bring Azurus into the first classroom, you probably would have been informed familiars need to be below the size of what could fit within a 2 foot by 18 inch. Basically, it's got to be the size. It's got to be the size of a carry-on package.
Polymorpher into a cat.
Into a cat. All right. So for the next hour out of your 16-hour day, not 16-hour, but like 8-hour day normally, she could be with you for that amount of time.
Okay.
But
I occasionally bring a
otherwise
Zerus with me as a cat.
It is generally frowned upon to walk around with a guard drake through the hallways of
Okay, good to
the
know.
academy.
The entire walk there, though, with Aaron, Mitnir's trying to get Aaron to sing with him everyone's theme songs.
Oh yeah, that set he plays.
Yeah.
All right, make a performance check.
Warren is not that musically inclined.
I know that, but it's great.
Oh my god.
That's a 9.
19.
Yeah. So yeah, Minier's like, the one that dun 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 dun. And you're just like, that's nothing that she's ever played.
We're just singing
you
two
think-
completely different songs.
Nope, same song.
Yeah, so you're sort of like humming your own thing, like your own song is like, I remember like she was singing a song about something being like the dark inside of you, but also the light, and there's all this poetry involved, but you can't quite remember the lyrics, but you've got the tune down. So yeah, as you guys make your way there, you find Azurus inside, and you wait for about 5-10 minutes before Topsy comes flustered through the door. She smells like sulfur as she comes inside.
Someone's having a busy day.
Perhaps you enter your dorm room and you find Azurus is getting pets from Mitnir and Oren.
Mitnir's like
Nice.
petting with one hand and just sitting there just like scratch, 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 scratch.
Oh, good. You're here. We need you got got. We need to unget you. She's like
I got beer
papers or
today.
books or whatever materials like in her arms, and she's like, "Ah, gotta put these somewhere." Oh God, it's been a day. Yes, here. You sit.
Which all of us just look at each
Yeah,
other.
she was pointing at Minir.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
probably
used to hearing
on
that.
the bed. Yeah.
Warren probably sat down. It's like, oh, my bad.
Sits down, just like, okay. Now what?
I don't know exactly how it does when it casts, but I cast a greater restoration from the bead.
From the bead? Yeah. So she just holds the bead and she sort of like holds it over you, and there's just like a bright light comes from it, and she holds her hand across your body, and little waves of energy start moving over your body, and the itching stops,
You
and
just
the little flecks
boots your
just
nose.
kind of like disintegrate.
How you feel?
Actually, that would also remove your drunkenness.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like,
Oh.
You're also no longer drunk. Yeah.
who's going out tonight? I think it's a good night to
Also-
go out.
Also, you really don't get what the hype was all about for yourself from that place you were hanging out yesterday during the skateboarding. You were like, I've been wanting to go back there ever since they made you leave, and now you kind of don't. You're like, I mean, it's fine, but
I thought I understood the whole like liking the woods thing and everything, but I still don't get it.
The Twilight Grove, I think it was.
yeah,
Yeah, but like,
this is
right,
first greater restoration since the Twilight Grove.
you guys talk about like going into, spending time in nature and stuff. I like it's okay, but there's no taverns, out in the middle of the woods. Like, I just don't get it.
We didn't get
I
it
mean-
either, Mitnir.
Different
Getting
people
ready to go,
have
babe?
different interests,
As soon as
and
that's not
yours is alcohol.
Well, I would say that is a interest of mine. Thank you.
Yes, you're not limited to one. Okay. Well, you're not
Feel
gonna die
good.
now, so that's good. You got you
I was
taken
gonna
care of.
die.
Presumably.
That's
Oh
not.
boy.
That's not my. That's Orange's job.
She's got to go back to class. That's her alarm.
Yeah. Said he's got to go to class. So as you guys all reminisce, talk about what you've been doing for the past couple days, and secure Mitnir's longevity to some extent. That's what we'll go ahead and end our session today because Sim's got to go.
Bye.
Bye.
GG's, everybody.
We did it for the rolls.
We did it
That
for
we
the
did for the rolls.